All right, you guys, let's get into this video. If the content that I'm sharing, if it resonates with you guys at all, do not hesitate to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell, so anytime any new content is uploaded, you're going to be the first to find out. And again, a thumbs up always lets me know that you guys enjoy this kind of content. It puts it on Google, or I should say YouTube's algorithm, and lets them know that you like my content. So let's get into this video. Okay, first I wanted to say this, right, and this is without all the hougie bougie and this is not a knock on that at all. So if you're spiritual or anything like that, not at all, because a lot of what I'm saying is actually based in physics. It just is, right? And it's being understood even more and more now anyway. Terrence Howard, he broke it down, but it would take Terrence Howard to explain it. But do understand that when we talk about manifestation, it's not just like and I'm not making fun of that at all, but it's not just on some just spiritual realms. Actually, the physics that are involved in the way that we actually kind of create our universe. I'm enjoying my cappuccino, you guys. I hope that you guys, like I say, if you want to grab yourself some tea or some coffee or something like that, enjoy this video. Let's get into it. So, like I was saying, not only are we what we eat, right? We've heard that, right? You are what you eat. Not only are you what you eat, but you're also what you consume in all ways, right? So you are what you watch, you are what you think, you are what you speak, you are what you eat, you are all of those things. And this is how I feel. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are continuously manifesting, you're continuously co-creating with the universe, you're continuously co-creating with reality, right? Whether you through the choices that you make, through the things that you listen to, through what you watch, through your daily habits, through all of those different things. So whether you are aware of it or not, you're always manifesting, right? You just are. However, it's up to you. Do you want to be a conscious manifestor, or do you want to unconsciously and just manifest your life situation? You could either steer the car or you could be a passenger, but either way that car is going to move and that car is going to take different directions, but it's up to you if you actually want to get behind the steering wheel or if you want to be a passenger. Now, when I say that, it does not necessarily mean that you're not going to hit some bumps in the road, or you might not be stuck in traffic for a little bit, but either way, that car is moving. So it's like you either can consciously steer it, or you can sit in the back seat, which is even worse, or you can sit in the passenger side. But the point is that I'm saying is that we're always co-creating. We're always manifesting our reality. You have a choice what type of reality you want to. It literally is, and I know what it sounds like, you guys. I know it sounds so hougie bougie, but it like I say, it's not just that, but it is literally like the Matrix almost. It is, straight up, you guys. Each and every one of you guys are Neo, and I'm not kidding. I promise you. I'm laughing when I say it, but I mean it. I'm dead serious. Each and every one of us, whether we realize it or not, we are all Neos from the Matrix, y'all. Every last one of us, we are. And we are in that we have the ability, we have the power to kind of select which, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys, maybe if I can think of it, I'm going to put some links to videos that actually cover, if I can think of it, like I say, I want to put some links to some videos that actually cover the scientific explanation behind it, because I really did see that they actually found that the world is actually like almost, or they say that it is almost like a simulation, right? And it's literally ones and zeros, just like in a computer, like literally. So, but the cool part is, right, like I say, it does not mean you're not gonna hit some bumps in the road. It does not mean that you're not gonna be stuck in traffic. It doesn't mean that you might not even have a little fender bender, but you could either be in that driver's seat or you could be in the passenger seat. So just to kind of double back a little bit, again, like I said, we are continuously manifesting every minute, every second, all the time throughout the day. We are. But we don't really get, most of us really do not get how important it is to really, I don't want to say protect your energy, but it's really more so like you really kind of consciously decide what, I guess you can say, I know it sounds so weird, but you consciously decide what reality you want to step into, basically. So it's more so like, this is just an example. Let's just say one of your favorite songs, and your favorite song that you like to listen to, and this is just an example, but it could be your favorite song you like to listen to, and in that song, maybe the song is singing about or rapping about or whatever. The lyrics are that, you know, I don't know, I feel sick, I feel down, I feel this, I feel that, and it might have an awesome beat, and you listen to it and you like it, and you like the beat, and you're steadily singing along with it. And if you're not singing out loud with it, you're like bobbing your head, maybe you're following along in your head, right, with the lyrics. You are, like I say, inadvertently, you are creating that kind of reality for yourself, in a sense. You know what I mean? I know it sounds really weird. Or let's just say you are singing a song that's talking about, you know, how they want to, you know, be unalive, or you're singing about a song that is singing all about heartbreak and life is so hard and this and that. Like, whether you believe it or not, you are literally creating that reality around yourself. And because it's being spoken, which is extremely powerful. Whether we believe it or not, whether we know it or not, it's extremely powerful. Even what you watch, visualization is a huge, behind putting some action behind it, but visualization, I would say, is almost really up there, if not even a little bit more than the action that you put into something. But if you can visualize something very clearly, then you kind of bring it into your, I guess you bring it into your reality. You can focus on something so much. Sometimes we call it synchronicity. Sometimes we call it, a coincidence, how weird, how strange, or wow, you know, whatever. We have those kind of moments. But literally, if you focus on something enough and you see it clearly enough, you literally can bring that into your essence, into your on the road, right? You bring that into your range. So that's why, even with the media that you consume, if you're consuming, you're watching something, this is just an example. Sometimes we can watch movies, and after we watch the movie, we walk away and we feel so uplifted. Or if it's a heartwarming movie, you know, maybe a romance, maybe we just feel really, sorry you guys, maybe if it's like a heartwarming romance, maybe we feel really like you know, in that romantic mood, or after you watch a scary movie, afterwards that energy still hangs with you, where like maybe you're jumpy, or you notice certain things that are strange that kind of put you on edge and things like that. But or something that's uplifting, right? Let's say you're watching I don't know, someone with a really like opulent lifestyle, and you know, and it kind of inspires you to want certain things or act a certain way or whatever. Like, anyway, like I say, you are not only what you watch continuously, because basically when you watch something and things are kind of acted out, because that's what it is. Acting is acting out different scenarios. if you're into that and you're watching that, or you are listening to music that maybe has certain specific types of lyrics, and music can sound good, right? I don't care if they're saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if it's put into a certain like melody or whatever, it could, you'll find yourself bobbing your head or singing along. That's why, and I'm gonna actually pair up what I'm saying with other examples, but I'm just saying, like I say, not only are you what you speak, you can literally speak things into existence, believe it or not. I don't mean, like I say, in a hoochie bougie kind of way, because there's actual real physics behind it. So you always want to kind of be conscious with your words, how you speak about yourself. We call them affirmations, right? Hopefully you're saying positive affirmations, but if you are saying, like FMLL, FML, F my life, or you're saying, you can't, oh, I'm so stupid, or oh, I'm so, XYZ that are negative type of things, you literally, whether you believe it or not, are bringing that into creation, right? Not that you suddenly become stupid, but you maybe just don't feel as confident about your, own abilities. Other people maybe doubt, because people just are reflections of you. However you feel about yourself is how others feel, typically, will view you as, right? How you view yourself is nothing but a mirror, right? When you feel good about yourself, you exude that. Doesn't mean you won't have haters, and you won't have people that say, whatever, she thinks, he thinks, they're all that, but they view you how you view yourself. But when you're consciously and you're speaking, you're saying, whether you really put meaning behind it or not, but when you're saying negative affirmations about yourself, about other people, just whatever, you're saying a lot of negative things, you are bringing that into your own bubble. I'll say that. So it's super, super incredible stuff. And I personally believe, that is why, we get off, right? Call them what you want. The Jay-Z, the Beyonce, whatever they want to be called, Illuminati, powers that be, or whatever. A lot of them already have knowledge of that, how powerful these things are. And two, that's why they want to gatekeep, and you got to be part of our club to be aware of this and be aware of that. But that's two, why they want to gatekeep on media, anything that influences the people, anything that influences the masses, because we all, every single last one of us are putting in a contribution to society, if that makes sense. Like, we all, like, not only are we co-creating and we are manifesting, whether we are consciously doing it or unconsciously doing it, we're all manifesting not only our own reality, but a collective reality, right? And our collective reality, basically, you could say, is what shapes the world. Personally, this is why I believe, this is why I think that, powers that be, whatever you want to call it, that's why they're so big on music. They're so big on media, because we are not only what we speak, not only what we watch, not only what we think, not only what we hear, what we write, we are those things. And if you have, and we always talk about how powerful media is. Yes, media is very powerful, because it basically controls, it shapes the way not only that we see the world, we see ourselves, we see other people. So basically you could say whoever controls that has control of our whole collective consciousness, if that makes sense, right? Because we are, like I say, not only do we manifest our own individual experience, but us together collectively are manifesting our world's collective, if that makes sense. So when you do have the these whatever you want to call them, powers that be, Illuminati's, secret societies, they are aware of that, right? Personally, my own little personal belief, I think that they're more interested in not so much money, because they're the ones that really create it, right? They create the money. They're more interested in having influence over our mind, how we think, what we watch, what we consume, music, right? A lot of the music now, and this is my own personal opinion, a lot of the music now is just very kind of like toxic, right? It's kind of a toxic culture, with the music videos, with a lot of just the way artists are, right? And it's not really so much impacting my generation, older generations, right? The aunties, but it is impacting really younger people that are still shaping, right? How they see themselves, how they see other people, right? And all of that is what I just said, right? All of that is manifestation, right? Creating, their own life's bubble situation, but also, like I say, collectively is how each one of us think and act individually. That creates kind of like our own collective reality. And if we have toxic media, toxic movies, video games, music, all these different things, right, that we're identifying as normal, that we're consciously watching and listening and speaking into existence, like, that's pretty powerful. And I think that these certain groups, they get that, they understand it, they get that, and because they get that, then that's why they do want to have a strong hold on music, right? Music is extremely powerful, right? Because like I say, even if you don't like the lyrics, if you like the beat, you're going to find yourself nodding your head and speaking it aloud, right? But which in turn turns into affirmations, right? Like I said, whether we think they are or not, but would you speak out loud, would you speak into existence, if you're saying like, I'm brilliant, I'm smart, I'm this, I'm that, like, you literally are creating that for yourself. You literally are becoming what you speak. Like I say, physics behind it, it would take like a Terrence Howard or Neil deGrasse, whoever, to break that down. But there is actually physics behind like active manifestation, some stuff, I don't know, y'all. But yeah, so let's just get into 3 ways that we are how to be a powerful manifestor, right? 3 ways. 1, we cannot always be high vibe. We're just not. We're human. So we're going to have some up days. You're going to have some down days. You just are. And if you act like you're always la 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 la, everything is great. I don't know about the credibility behind that, but for the most part, you want to be as high vibe as you can. If you want to put yourself into a place of being able to actively manifest, you have to put yourself in a more of a higher vibe, right? So when you know that you are thinking real negatively, whether you're thinking negatively about yourself, whether you're thinking negatively about other people, find some way to find a positive about it, or the flip side of it, or you've hit a bump in the road, right? It might be a major bump in the road, but if you could think of, even if you have to take out a sheet of paper and actually brainstorm, okay, well, what are my options around this? What can I do? Not only will it make you feel just a little bit better, because now you could actually physically see it, because you're actually putting it out there, and then you're kind of creating a roadmap of like getting around certain things or options to start moving, at least put some movement behind things, right? But you want to be as positive as you can. Think positively. Definitely think positively about yourself, because you're going to probably be inundated with a lot of other people's opinions that really want to project, which really, I always say, when people have very negative, say a lot of negative things, is really ultimately how they feel about themselves. If you really want to know how someone feels about themselves, listen to the way they talk about other people. I always say that. Because usually, people will project their own insecurities, things they don't like, or how they feel, they'll try to project that out and talk about other people. So, like I say, you want to be as positive as you can. If you are surrounded, sometimes it's not always easy to see negative. Sometimes it's very easy, but it's not always easy to see negative influences that we have around us. Sometimes we're very aware of our vices, or we're very aware of negative people that are in our lives. Sometimes people that are negative and do not wish us the best could be some of the closest people to you, and you just would not know. And sometimes, but not always, but so sometimes it's not always easy to point out snakes, or to point out things that are bad for you, or vices, or different things like that. But if you are aware and you do know that you are in a negative mindset, around negative people with vices, and unfortunately, a lot of times when people have certain vices, or just some people either get complacent and they're comfortable and they say, hey, it's just me, and they're not making any strides toward self-improvement. And then there are some people, like they say, misery loves company, right? Because some people may have not had certain things, or they feel limited in a certain way. They want you to feel the same way that they do, or maybe even worse. So, super duper important. Like I say, mindset is everything. You can't, right, always be, you might have a million things that are going wrong in your life, but if you could try to find some positive things, even, and this is incredibly powerful too, but I'm gonna put it in, like, this is just number one, so I'll save that, what I'm getting ready to say, but just in general, try to be as positive as you can. Can't always be positive. Try to find some positive things, even if it's no more than try to find positive things throughout your day to be thankful for, to be appreciative of. Try to find the kindness in other people, and also recognize, doesn't mean you always got to speak on it or be combative, but also recognize your own vices and maybe the vices of others. And not all advice is good advice. I'll just say that. Always try to take advice from people that are literally walking the path that you desire. You know what I mean? Like, literally walking the path that you deem to be like, that's what I want to do, or that's who I want to be, or whatever. Doesn't mean other people don't have some nuggets of wisdom, but for the most part, you want to follow people that are pretty much lined up with how you see your future self. Okay, might be decent advice. Number two, to be a powerful manifester, I don't know, and again, it goes off into physics, you guys. 1 second. Crap. Okay, and again, it goes off into physics, you guys. But again, you want to always think of, when you manifest, you want to think of what I call, and this might not be original, other people may have said it, I don't know, but you always want to think of best case scenario, right? So when you are saying, like, to me, you can always also think of like a moment of whether you're journaling, and we'll get into what journaling is, but whether you are journaling, whether you are just sitting back, thinking, whatever the case is, you want to think of, like I say, best case scenario. What is future you, right? If things turn out absolutely just how you would want it to be, what does future you look like? How is future you dress? What is future you's, what are the habits that you have in the future? What does your surroundings look like? Maybe what do you own, or How are you spending your free time in the future? Who are you surrounded by? What are your surroundings, right? Best case scenario, absolutely best case scenario. What is that? And if you're having trouble figuring that out, I'd say take a little time, maybe find other YouTubers, podcasters that maybe inspire you, really kind of discover what your interests are and what would you deem to be like positive influencers within that space of your interest, and really study that if you need help creating more of a clearer picture of future you. And I mean, like, really get down to the specifics, like how you wear your hair, what perfume or cologne are you going to be wearing, if you're driving or if you're walking, what's your daily habits, best case scenario, right? We're not worried about income. We're not worried about, different distractions that typically we might like be on edge about, like all those things removed. And you could paint any picture you want. What does that picture look like? And really kind of live in that space. But get a nice, clear, focused picture. Also, what's extremely helpful with that is Pinterest as well. If you go through Pinterest, whatever, look at cars you like. If it's not cars, what kind of clothes are you like? What kind of haircuts or hairstyles might the future you be wearing? Or, what's the neighborhood? What's the city, right? Maybe you want pictures of the city, the future city that you might choose to live in, right? Or just anything, right? I don't care if your desire is to a romantic relationship. Probably couple pictures, I'm sure, all through Pinterest, right? What does that look like? Or I don't know, party scene. You like to party? What type of events and things like that would you like to be attending? So many different things, but I'm saying definitely tap into Pinterest for inspiration if you need it. Look for other podcasters, YouTubers, influencers. I don't always say celebrities, but anybody that kind of is closer to that future you. If you're lucky enough to have some kind of mentor, that's cool, but you could even have a virtual mentor, right? It does not have to be someone that actually, if it's great if you can ping off that person, but even if you can't ping back and forth with that person, still just the ability to watch, right? Really live in that space. If some people call it the delusional, whatever, that's cool too. It's whatever. But really kind of live in that. Now, the huge component, right, if you want to call it the left and right glove to manifestation, is putting forth some type of effort. It doesn't mean huge, you're making huge strides. If you are, that's fantastic. But you want to start putting in some effort, some motion toward this future version of yourself, even if it's the smallest, tiniest thing. And more than likely, as you begin to paint this picture, you're going to realize that there might be several different things that you can do now, today, that aligns you with that path, right? Be it whatever, maybe eating at a certain restaurant, or just grabbing a cup of coffee, or going for a walk, right? A nature walk. Different things, small things. Maybe take a nice long shower and do a little beauty care for yourself, or manscape. Just the smallest, tiniest thing, right? That you could do for yourself that might bring you closer to that future version of yourself. Now, even though, like I say, clearly, obviously, I'm not, anybody in the science world. I don't know a whole lot about physics, but I do recall hearing, an explanation of it. Like, there are many different things kind of happening all at once. And when you manifest, you kind of collapse that into your reality now, if that makes sense. It's like I don't know, y'all. Maybe I shouldn't have even tried to attempt to explain that. But I'm just saying that. And then the third thing, so one is right, mindset, right? We're talking about mindset. Are we negative? Are we trying to at least be as positive as we can? Be kind toward ourselves, be kind toward others. Are we, number two is also your, what did I just say? I just said a bunch of stuff, but I'm just trying to think of the shortened version of how I explain that. About, also really visualization, right? Being able to really visualize. Number two is visualization, being able to really visualize and really step into that future version of you. If you don't have a clear picture, it's no pressure or whatever, just slowly start to create that. Save the pictures to your phone. And number three is actually a combo, right? Number three is actually a combo, which is to journal. Journaling, some people call it scripting, some people call it hoochie bougie, whatever. Some people say it's, almost therapeutic to journal and things like that. But what you write is extremely powerful. I'll just say that, which makes you think about books you read, and it makes you think, like all those different things. But what you speak, what you see, what you hear, what you think is very powerful, and especially what you write down. And you want to get, if you can, even if you're not able to get a journal, if you're able to get just a blank sheet of paper, and take a moment, if you need to look at some Pinterest pictures that inspire you, and just take a moment to kind of think and be in that space. You might have 1,000,001 things that actually stress you out, that you're worried about. Try to push all of that out of your mind and just live in that space. Live in that space of being future you. What do you look like, right? What are you doing at this very moment? That future greatest possible outcome version of you. What are you doing? And when you write, this is the big part. And I remember way back in the day with some lady who, I think they said she manifested the exact amount, $114 million that she had written down. And she talked about how journaling was so important, scripting, and she wrote down the exact amount she wanted. And I could, I'm like, well, that never worked for me. I don't understand why this journaling stuff is supposed to be so important, or how it just doesn't work. This is the active ingredient, okay? Sorry about that, but I'm going to say this is the active ingredient. The active ingredient in journaling, scripting, is to write in present tense. You're writing in present tense. You're always saying, I am, or even if you speak in past tense, because if you're speaking in past tense, that means that it has already happened, right? You're either saying, I was so grateful when, or you're saying, I am so excited because whatever, but you're always speaking in present tense. Or if you're speaking about things, you're speaking about it in the past tense. I remember when I was broke. I remember when I was frustrated and upset. I remember when, I felt hopeless. I am so grateful now that I have direction. I am so grateful. I'm so excited that I am financially abundant. I'm so excited now that I have figured out my path and I'm actively walking it. When you journal, that's the way you want to journal. And then some people like to get very specific. I always like to kind of give the universe wiggle room, because when you are writing, the universe goes with the flow. There's a really funny podcast where this neuroscientist was talking about how the universe doesn't give doesn't give two Fs. It can't tell the difference between what's actually happening and what you are speaking and projecting out. Either way, it creates around that. So, but you always want to, because when you say, I want, I wish, then you're presently putting yourself in a place of lack. And the universe recognizes that you don't have, and you magnify that, if that makes sense at all. But like I say, it doesn't mean that you won't have some bumps in the road. It does not mean that, once you realize and you know how to manifest, all, things will be great. But you do want to be as much, if you can, can't always be, but if you can be as much as you can in the driver's seat, then you drive in your own car. And it doesn't matter if you got a road rager on you on the side. It doesn't matter if you see like a bump coming in the road. It doesn't matter about any of that stuff, because you are like the driver, quote unquote, of that vehicle, right? So you pretty much manage that. So you can have people all in your face, you ain't this, you ain't that, and you think this, and it doesn't matter, because you know who you are, you know what your reality is. God bless them. And I always kind of feel for people when they talk like that, because they are projecting, and believe it or not, they're creating that to be their own reality, right? Not yours. And it's only yours if you accept that. If you accept it, then it becomes yours. But when people talk real like, they are literally creating their own bubble that they have to live in, not you. But yeah, so those are my tips. Like I say, try to be positive. Mindset is everything. It doesn't mean you have a million things going wrong in your life, but you just do your best to try to be as positive about it as you can. Be kind to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Try to be kind to other people. Speak kindly to other people. Like I say, if you gotta start writing things, when I say write things down, I don't mean like, I'm filled with so much stress. Like, I don't mean that. Although if that's cathartic for you, then do that. But I just mean more like, start brainstorming ways, to try to find positive out of your current situation, or options that you might have that you might need to walk and explore to kind of get out of that negative space if you're in it. And like I said, number 2, visualization, so incredibly important. Maybe you already know your dream car. Maybe you already know, your dream hairstyle, haircut, clothes you wear, people you hang around, partner, neighborhood. Maybe you already know those things. If you don't, my suggestion is definitely Pinterest. Start looking into that. Start looking up YouTubers, podcasters that inspire you. And like I say, you are what you watch, you are what you listen to, what you speak. Even, especially during a time of, if you are in a really rough space right now and you are trying to manifest your way out of it, you really have to kind of protect your space as much as you can. Sometimes you can't, but when I say protect your space, meaning, you're going to have a lot of influences around you. Some might be positive, a lot might be negative, some you might identify as negative. Some you might not, and they might be negative influences. But if you have to get out of that space, do that. Change your environment a little bit, maybe your daily habits, just to do that, to get into the right place where you can visualize and be more higher vibe. Do that. Number 3, definitely, like I say, journal, write it down, write in present or past tense, most possible, best. Be thankful, be grateful, write it. All right. And after you write it, this is very important for number 3. After you write it, speak it aloud. And when you're reading it back, because you want to read it back after you write it, speak it out loud and actually visualize what you have written. Close it up. Don't harp on it too much, because when you do, you're almost sending like a signal of like, you don't believe it's going to happen. Just know. And I know it sounds easier said than done, but just know that you are stepping closer and closer to that higher version, reality, right? But you don't have to read it throughout the day. You don't have to, now unless that's cathartic for you, and everybody does things differently, but harping on it too much is almost sending like a signal of like, you don't believe it's going to happen. You don't believe it's going to work. And then just, like I say, usually probably, I don't know, maybe nightly before bedtime, it's good to just read, go over it, and try to go to sleep if you can with that vibe, right? Those type of visual, and even, like I say, you could journal, read it out loud, maybe look at some Pinterest photos before you go to bed. And every day, so I guess I'm putting in a surprise bonus number 4, every day, try to take small steps, right? Sometimes, even the small steps might seem insignificant, but every little step counts and it matters. You definitely have to crawl before you can walk. You have to walk before you can run. And potentially overall, I would say if you are in a space or a place that's really kind of low, there's only up from there, truth be told. So you should know you have nothing but positive things to come if you start aligning yourself in that right vibration. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, share it, leave comments down below, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.